All right, guys, let's try this again. I won't be playing the clip again, so hopefully we won't get booted. But I want y'all to hop over here. Hopefully we can make that work. Am I getting you guys back over here? Slowly. Okay. All right. So now I want you guys to try to take those extra few minutes and analyze. And if you've already finished that, start telling me in the comments what connection you guys have started to make. There is only 2 people. I'm trying to figure out how to send everybody over here. How to send feedback loop. Got 5 of you now. All right. This one shouldn't get flagged for playback. No copyright anymore. So while I've got 6 of you now, start telling me what you think the reasons for having those events in the clip happened. Remember, shooting yourself in the foot, pretending to be gay, the dead guys, and the different ways that we showed democracy. Those are what you should be focusing on. Yay! Glad people are making it over. Absolutely. And there's different reasons for that. You guys know why we were able to be sent home for those reasons and why it's not working anymore. I'll give you the first one as an example. So they initially act gay to get sent home, because we used to have this rule of don't ask, don't tell. And if you were found out, typically you were forced out of the military. They did not accept gay people for a long time. Now, that has been repealed. So it is no longer an issue to be openly gay in the military, which is why them acting gay means that they weren't going to get sent home. So that's what they were referencing. That's what they were analyzing, was the don't ask, don't tell repeal. What about the second one, getting shot in the foot? And more specifically, why don't you think people get sent home for that anymore? Anybody want to take a guess? Because so many people get injured in action now. Absolutely. The battlefields are far more ruthless than they used to be, when just getting shot in the foot would mean serious medical attention. I mean, it still does, but more serious. It could have killed you. Whereas now, maybe not so likely, because it's obvious that they shot each other. I'm pretty sure it was obvious that they shot each other. Absolutely. If it's in the foot, it wouldn't be so bad. It's not a, yeah. So nowadays, people can get shot, it can get blown up. I know plenty of examples of soldiers who have been shot multiple times or blown up and all these other things, and just get sent to Germany in a hospital to recover and then get sent right back to war. They don't even get to go home. So this type of injury is not as damaging or limiting as it used to be. I mean, for example, the head dead guys guarding the ammunition, they can take what they can get. So with that idea, what else are they referring to there? And think specifically of the time this was made, which was when we were pretty deep into the Afghanistan war and we had just started the Iraqi war. And this has to do with their, hold on, see if I can think of the right words for this. Requirements for entry. What do you think they're referencing when they say we'll take what we can get? What was happening during this time? Let me know if this one is stumping you guys. I know you all were quite young when this whole thing was started and going on, so makes me feel old. I had graduated high school at that point. Let me put it this way. What do you think happens to the requirements to get into the military when they're in desperate need for soldiers, when we're fighting two separate wars? You think those standards are gonna go down? Well, I pretty much just gave you guys the answer, right? Standards go down. So one of this is lowering standards for health. Again, referencing the dead guys guarding the ammunition. So things that people wouldn't be admitted for previously, they are able to get admitted for, or were able to get admitted for during that time. They also decrease the score you had to get on the ASVAB to get into the military. So they're allowing lower scores in because we needed a lot more infantry people. Infantry were dying all over the place. They'll take anyone in times of need, absolutely. They were having to draft men. And they were also lowering age requirements. You could sign up at 16 without parent consent at the time. Now, they've raised those back up since. Like, we don't have those issues anymore because we're not in such a dire time of war. But this is exactly why they were doing those things. And then finally, last thing I want to ask you guys about the last clip in democracy. What were they showing as democracy kicking in? Because it certainly didn't seem like actual democracy. We know democracy is everybody getting to help decide what happens in a society or within a government. But that's not what they showed. So what were they referencing instead? What do we believe democracy typically is? Let me rephrase the question again to help you all out in case you're having trouble with it. So there's a cultural transition rather than a governing transition. So what happened in each one of the clips when prisoners of war changed into frat guys, terrorist changing into a barber, a dictator changing into Santa Claus, burqa-covered women turning into bikini-clad women. What cultural transition seemed to be happening there? They just turned into Americans. Absolutely. This is what most people think of when they think of democracy, is changing culture rather than changing a governmental system. It's not that we want them to have the freedom to choose. We want them to be like us, and we think of ourselves as freedom, which is what they're making fun of here, or satirizing, is how much we try to Americanize other cultures because we think our culture and our governing system is the best. Oh shit, there was another link to that, and I'm trying to remember. Brain fart. No, okay, sorry, it's gone. But that is essentially how you tell the difference between summary, so versus what happened, and what links they're creating or context they're trying to apply to what happened is how it happened or how they're showing it. So hopefully this is helping you guys create that difference, because in your ad analysis, you shouldn't be summarizing, you should be showing and telling me why or creating context. The same thing is going to happen in our next paper. You should be telling me why things are happening, how they're happening, give me quotes, but not just summarizing the episode of the stories that we are going to start on Friday. Okay, we're going to transition to the part 2 of the lesson, which is bunny suicides. I've got this book. It's pretty dark. I'm sorry. Y'all know me by now that I like dark things. But we're going to try to figure out warrants. So, what must be true for the bunny to kill himself, essentially, is what I'm going to be asking you guys. So, here's number 1. Let's see if y'all can see it properly. You've got a bunny, there's mushrooms, and the book over there, if you can see it, says, "Know your wild mushrooms," and it is on fire. So, what must be true for the bunny to kill himself? Well, the old adage of knowledge is power. If you don't know which mushrooms are going to kill you when you go eat a whole bunch of mushrooms, you're going to be able to kill yourself, or you're probably going to die because of your lack of knowledge. And that is the warrant. So that's what we're going to do for a few of these. I'm going to try to show you all one at a time. This one right here. Movie scene and the clapperboard with the bunny's head in it. So what happens at the start of a new scene that would make the bunny able to kill himself? See if I can't get the light to be better. That would be better. Not really. There we go. So in this, the clapperboard, backwards, will close and cut the bunny's head off, and so that is how he's going to kill himself. So the start of each scene, somebody slaps the clapperboard, and that's the warrant. That's what we believe to be true for the bunny to kill himself. This one's a 2-pager. So, bunny at the top, up here. He's eating unpopped popcorn. He's setting himself on the stove, turning the stove on, and blowing himself up. So what must be true for him to kill himself? What's true about the popcorn, unpopped popcorn, when it's put on heat like that? So try to give me the answer to that one before we move on. What must be true for the bunny to kill himself? What do you think, guys? What happens to popcorn when it's heated? Show you guys again. So what happens to the popcorn? It's going to pop, but so it will pop and kill him. Essentially, it expands, right? And we see him blow up there at the end, killing him. Absolutely. The popcorn expands, it pops, and that's what makes him able to kill himself. And so that's the warrant. That's what we believe to be true for that to be successful. All right, we're going to do this one right here with the dog. So a dog, a picture of a dog, and a bunny with his neck chained. What is true about dogs when they interact with other dogs, especially on their own territory? Keep this up here best I can. Probably have been better had I scanned these and actually made them pictures, but learning curve. So how do dogs behave when other dogs enter their territory? They go crazy. Absolutely do. They're territorial. And so they become aggressive. And that is exactly what's being shown here. He's going to pull on his chain, and the chain is going to snap the poor bunny's neck. Next one is this one. We have a student driver, whole bunch of cones with some bunnies in it. What is true about student drivers that makes the bunnies able to kill themselves? You see their little feet and eyes. Ooh, there we go. So what's true about student drivers? Kaylee, you're absolutely right. In the last one, the dog would kill the bunny too. They are bad drivers. Yes. Which means they're likely going to run over cones. Like Abby said, yes. You're right, Kayla. In the last one, they bark or they fight. They are learning, Evan. Yes, absolutely. So as we can see in that picture, he's actually run over one of them already. So student drivers are learning. They're not that great at driving, and they run over cones. And that's the warrant. Hopefully y'all aren't overthinking these. I know people tend to. For the really simple beliefs that we have. So here's our next one. It says November 15th up there. There's a whole bunch of turkeys. And when do we eat turkeys? What's happening at that time of the year? Exactly. Thanksgiving, we eat turkeys. So he dressed himself up as a turkey during that time so that he can be killed. Here we have a bounce house. Those little canisters are hydrogen. And he's setting a fire. So what must be true for the bunny to kill himself? Historical context there is the Hindenburg blimp. So what's true about hydrogen? I'll put it up there one more time. So what's true about that hydrogen down there? Yep, you guys got it. It'll explode. It will explode. It'll blow up. Exactly. It is flammable. And that is the warrant. Hydrogen's flammable. You put flame to it, it's going to explode. Right, next one's another 2-pager. This one takes some context too. You have to know who this guy is. And the hint is it's Doctor Who. So this one's not as well known, so I'm just going to let you guys know which one this is. So Doctor Who's a time traveler. This is his time traveling machine, the TARDIS. And so 1, either time travel must exist, or 2, Doctor Who must exist. And that is what the warrant is for this 2-pager. As you see, the bunny gets his head stuck in the time machine. It goes off without him and just leaves his body behind. Next one is this guy. So we have a little sign that says, "Do not pull lever," and what looks to be a mischievous little boy. What do you think? What's the warrant? What must be true about that boy? Go back up there. He will pull it. And why will he pull it? Probably because he doesn't like being told what to do. Exactly. All right, just briefly, nice little intermission. They do have a little pause in here. The bunny's all happy on a grassy knoll so that we can have a moment away from this darkness. All right, next one's another 2-pager. So he's going to the mall. He's going to go get a gun and some bird seed and some string. He spreads the bird seed. Birds come. He ties himself up to him and then shoots the gun. So what happens around birds when you make a loud noise like that? How do birds behave around a gunshot will be your warrant. Yep. They fly away, they scatter. Exactly. When they're frightened, they scatter. And that's the warrant. Hopefully this is getting a lot simpler for you guys. Next one. We have a cannon about to be shot and some bunnies there underneath the wheel. So what happens when you shoot a cannon? Here's the picture. Man, my lighting's terrible. It will recoil on them. It rolls back. Absolutely. And that is the warrant. Okay, let me see how many more of these I've got. Two more. Is this guy. So these are the wind turbines and the bunny up on some stilts trying to run into them. This has some context to it too, something that happens in real life that they're referencing. It'll slice them, absolutely. So one of the context things here is that a lot of birds actually are killed by our wind turbines because it is the height that they typically fly, and the output, the sound waves and whatnot output that it gives messes up their ability to navigate and often makes them run right into our turbines and it kills them. So there's a little bit of environmental context for you guys. Last one. We have a pirate bunny. In that case right there is a whole bunch of limes. It's lime storage, which is a citrus fruit, which is important for what used to happen to pirates and people who spent a long time on ships. They would get a certain kind of sick without citrus, and I'm wondering if you guys know what that is. So again, our pirate bunny in his lime storage, and he's throwing away the key. You just noticed I've had that banner still up. Oh boy. Yeah. Anybody know that one? I think I'm on a delay from you guys. It's not Lyme disease. Lyme disease is what you get with a tick. It would be scurvy. You get scurvy when you do not have enough citrus in your system, and that is what killed or made a lot of pirates sick. So a lot of sailmen, sailwomen, sailors, there we go. That's the right word. A lot of sailors and pirates got scurvy from a lack of oranges, lemons, and limes, and so that's why he's throwing away that key. Okay, guys. So I'm going to be here for the next couple minutes. I want to remind you guys that your midterm is due on Monday. Next class is going to be a pre-recorded class on Friday for Futurama. Again, that is the first of the 4 texts that you're going to choose for your last paper. So pay attention to it. You actually don't really need to take notes because you can watch it again, which is pretty handy in this case. Let me know in the next couple of minutes if you have any questions about your midterm or about what we're going to be doing on Friday. After the first class on Friday, I will be there from 10, be here from 10 to 11 live if you have questions, or hit me up in the email, because I want your midterms by midnight, Monday at midnight, like I guess Tuesday morning at midnight, but by the end of the day, Monday, I need your final drafts of your papers and your paragraph of how you feel about your writing skills currently. So let me know if you have questions. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. So I will see you on Friday. Kind of, sort of. You will see me on Friday. Yes, I can send that to you again, Evan. I will do that right now. So I'm still here in case you guys have questions. I know some of you guys are on a delay, so I'm trying to wait it out in case anybody's got anything they want to ask. But if you don't, go do other things you gotta do. Nobody's here, so I'm going.